Hello everyone and welcome to Sunburned Albino ranks every boss in Resident Evil Village from easiest to hardest. This ranking will be done on the hardest difficulty, Village of Shadows, cause I ain't no bitch, and also with infinite ammo, cause I'm kind of a bitch. But don't worry about it ruining the integrity of the ranking. I mean, it might, just don't worry about it. Starting from easiest and working our way to hardest, number 11, Angie. Angie's the easiest boss no matter what difficulty you're on. All you have to do is play hide and seek, and I don't know if there's even a lose condition because I have enough time to guess wrong on where she is several times in a row and still eventually find her without getting cleaved by porcelain midgets. Auntie Donna's little ventriloquist act is pretty nifty, but ultimately ineffective since she's basically powerless to stop me from repeatedly shoving a pair of scissors into her doll's skull, who wants nothing more than become my daughter in place of Rose so she can call me daddy without me going to jail. Number 10, Cassandra. Cassandra is the last of the vampire bug daughters you fight, and she's also the easiest because once you move that shelf and blow the hole in the wall, it's just a simple one-on-one fight with some easy obstructions to juke her around. She goes down in about half an assault rifle clip, or if you're playing fairly, a myriad of bullets from different weapons that you strategically swap between because you're so amazing. Number 9, the middle one. Whichever daughter is the second one you fight is the next easiest, because with this one you at least have to mildly navigate around the fact that you're required to periodically reopen the roof to the little indoor gazebo where Rolf took Liesel's virginity before becoming a Nazi. She'll just let you do it though, it's really not an issue. And if you happen to have an 80 bullet per clip assault rifle, she kinda just lets you execute her as if by firing squad since she can barely move while she's getting absolutely peppered. Number 8, the first one. The first daughter is the hardest of the three because she brings along some friends in Village of Shadows that I don't recall being there in other difficulties. Just a couple random revenants, but their existence is enough to be a distraction that can get you killed even with an entire supply depot at your disposal. In Village of Shadows, if you don't guard, you're basically almost dead instantly, and the daughters like to rapidly swing their little kopeshes around for combo attacks that would chop a grown man into succulent, juicy pieces. So you always want to keep your distance and circle around some objects so these sexy daughters can't chew on your man meat. Number 7, Moreau. I'm the best! Moreau is a giant, disgusting fish monster who makes me never want to eat salmon again. He is located inside his own mouth and takes super extra damage when he pops out like a tongue to spout some sad one-liner. If you don't happen to have a near fully upgraded steak magnum on hand, you can lure Moreau towards explosive barrels and use those to stun him for damage windows. Otherwise, a constant barrage of bullets will still eventually make him activate his final smash, where he jumps up on the roof and starts full-body lactating acid over the entire battlefield like a toxic freak. Seek shelter during this period, any little alcove will do, and you can just sit there and lament all the time being wasted as he prevents you from completing his speedrun challenge. He actually did that shit twice in a row during this footage. What a dick. Number 6, Alpha Hammerman. Deep within the Lycan nest, you must fight a giant Lycan Alpha and the minions he summons, which isn't too bad considering that if you're doing enough damage when he first jumps down onto that upper cliff, he likes to just stay there and howl at you for probably more time than is good for him. You should be more worried about the crowd he draws, as the Hammerman himself is slow and you don't have to even deal with him until you're ready to because he just hangs out in one spot if you get far enough away. Do some crowd control, then turn your attention back to him when you've got time and he'll go down like a desperate college freshman trying to improve her grade. Number 5, Propeller Man. Propeller Man is super annoying. The only saving grace for me is the fact that he takes a little damage from getting shot in the correct part of his legs, and the fact that you can still hit his vulnerable reactor core from the side a little if you spray mad bullets into it. First phase is no problem. Take your magnum out, watch him bump into a wall like a moron, shoot the core, but once he starts belching flames and double charging, this dude can be a real asshole to try and hit. I think it's worth wasting whatever ammo you have to try and cheese him, personally, instead of doing it properly. Half the floor is covered in fire at any given time, and you're just always burning and hemorrhaging health. So whatever gets it done the fastest is the right thing to do. Number 4, Mace Man. Now that you are Chris Redfield and your guns are fixed and pre-selected, Village of Shadows really becomes Village of Shadows. Infinite ammo doesn't do anything for you in this fight, and I didn't even have it unlocked for this gun because it's a waste of challenge points. Mace Man is literally a Dark Souls boss. He's vulnerable from behind, so your best bet is to get real close and strafe around all his attacks while you wait for your useless tactical team to prime their little drone strikes that don't seem like they even do much damage. It's more valuable for the fact that it smacks him onto the ground and exposes his back for attack. This fight lasts way too long, and you'll spend a lot of it with your arms up guarding just in case you get clipped by his wild swings. Number 3, Lady Dimitrescu. If the Duke didn't say it after you turn in Mommy's nude crystal sculpture, nobody would have known how to pronounce that name. Lady Dimitrescu is a 9-foot-tall, stupid, sexy Hagrid with a blood disorder that I'm not even attracted to. Yeah, I said it. Gargantuans don't do it for me, neither do vampires, and I'm especially not fond of necro-dragons that vomit insects, where the lady herself has been reduced to basically a bobblehead with more tits than arms. This fight is lengthy from a phase perspective, as it's hard to know if you're doing good damage when the boss is always flying around doing different stuff. The plus side is that you've got plenty of room to maneuver and backpedal, so you really shouldn't get caught by anything unless you linger too long, or one of the bug swarms randomly decides to magnetically attach itself to your ass. Lady Dimitrescu is hard to hit, especially when she's in midair, so it's kind of frustrating, but at least when you kill her, you get to fondle her bosom and turn her into a post-death prostitute by selling her body to a guy who weighs 900 pounds on a good day. Number 2, Mother Miranda. Mother Miranda, or as Heisenberg calls her, that bitch Mirander, is the final fight in Resident Evil Village and is appropriately climactic and difficult. A woman of as many phases as she has legs, Miranda will turn her spider legs on you constantly, either with flying leaps or charging stabs, and you must block or potentially dodge all of them, or you can look forward to being at red health in an instant. Anytime she summons her floating pus balls, they must be shot or you're going to get a face full of mold mucus and immediately break out in hives. Otherwise, it's just a question of blocking and strafing for way too long, because even with infinite stake ammo, this bitch takes 100 years to kill. But eventually you'll do it and rescue your ugly-ass baby and die painfully ever after. Number 1, Heisenberg. The hardest boss in Resident Evil Village is Heisenberg. Hope you like listening to monologues, because you're going to be hearing the same ones over and over again, as you take one hit of damage early into the fight and then pause and restart because you know it means you're done for. Heisenberg kills you in 2 hits. He requires near flawless execution, and you have to break his assorted limbs like literally 20 or more times to finally end him with your fantastical little bullet hell contraption. This battle gives your mech infinite ammo regardless of what you've unlocked, and it's still the hardest. You just have to keep your distance at all times, focus fire on one limb long enough to stun him, then move to the next one, then the next one, then back to the first one, etc., until your fingers fall off. Save your cannon shots for when he gets too close, since they push him back and you back, and if he comes at you with his left arm, his left, your right, you can actually strafe left around him. Follow me on Twitter at SunburnedAlbino, and I'll see you guys next time.